everyone recognises the difficult times that we've been through as a country over the past couple of years. We've had the pandemic and the war in Ukraine, both of which necessitated the government stepping in rightly to support people, families, businesses through those difficult times. And that's, of course, had an impact on things, and I think people will recognise that. But the direction of travel is now crystal clear. Our plans are working because of the improvement in the economic environment, because of the fact we've been able to get inflation down from 11% to 4%, mortgage rates, energy bills falling, wages rising. We've been able to start cutting people's taxes responsibly, and the two tax cuts that have been announced at the end of last year and just now mean a tax cut worth around £900 for an average person in work earning 35k. Half of it kicked in January, the other half in a few weeks in April, and that shows that our plans are working. I believe in a society where hard work is rewarded. We're delivering that for people, and they can see that the change we're talking about is starting to happen. And if we stick to the plan, we can make sure that everyone has peace of mind, that there's a brighter future for them and their family, and we can all have a renewed sense of pride in the country.
But it's the highest tax burden in 70 years. Are you comfortable with that tax burden?
Unfortunately, country's been through, hopefully once-in-a-century type events with a pandemic and a war in Ukraine, and the government stepped in with an extraordinary amount of support for the NHS, for the vaccine rollout, furlough, help with people's energy bills. Those were the right things to do at the time. But now, because the situation has improved, because our plan is working, we've got inflation down from 11% to 4%, wages have been rising faster than prices for several months, energy bills are coming down. We've been able to cut people's taxes responsibly. So everyone in work and self-employed seeing a tax cut worth around £900 for an average person in work on 35k. Half of that's already kicked in January, the other half in a few weeks in April. It shows that our plan is working. I want a country where hard work is rewarded, and if we stick to this plan, people can have peace of mind that there's a brighter future ahead.
And on national insurance, you released a video yesterday on the budget implying a longer-term plan to scrap national insurance altogether. But former chancellors like Philip Hammond said that that was an important contribution principle for national insurance. Do you agree? And if you scrap it, how will you fund it?
So I believe in a simpler, fairer tax system. And at the moment, we do have something that's overly complex. Everyone in work is paying tax twice, once in income tax, once in national insurance. That's unnecessarily complicated because all that money ultimately goes into the same pot to fund the same public services. But it's also unfair because it's not right that people in work face this double taxation compared to everything else. So my ultimate long-term ambition is to end that unfairness. And if we stick to our plan, we'll be able to make good progress towards that goal in the next Parliament. And we've already showed that we mean business with cutting national insurance by a third in just 6 months, delivering a £900 tax cut. And as I said, if we stick with our plan, we'll be able to make good progress towards our long-term goal of ending that unfairness entirely over the next Parliament.
But how will you fund it?
I said what people can see from me, I think they trust me on these things, is that I will always do this responsibly. We've funded our current tax cuts responsibly. Borrowing has not increased. We're still on track to meet our fiscal rules that have our debt falling. We've also made sure that we keep investing in our public services, especially the NHS, which received more funding yesterday, which was welcomed by the NHS CEO. And that's what you get when you stick to a plan. We can invest in the NHS, we can cut people's taxes, and we can continue to have our debt on a falling trajectory. That shows that our plan is working. It's the right plan, and if we stick with it, we really can give everyone the peace of mind that there's a brighter future ahead. And the alternative, the choice at the next election, is clear, because our plan is starting to deliver the positive change that people want to see. The alternative with Labour, who don't have a plan, is all that progress would be eroded, and we would just go back to square one.